Recently, I heard that the ending of the new Deadpool movie is going to blow people's minds, and that it may have something to do with Tony Stark returning as Iron Man for the new Secret Wars plot in the MCU. So there, secret's out. End of video, right? Well, no. According to Ryan Reynolds, this movie will not contain an end credits scene.
Oh no! Anyway.
So what does this mean? Is Tony Stark's return just a fan theory from rabid Iron Man fans waiting to see RDJ back on the big screen? Not quite, and I'm going to tell you why. Secret Wars is a comic book plot featuring a guy called the Beyonder, a member of an ancient race that creates universes for their young. The Beyonder becomes interested in the superheroes on Earth, and sets up essentially a battle royale against the heroes' will. Naturally, this battle royale between all the heroes contains Iron Man and the rest of the Avengers, as well as the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and basically every other superhero in Marvel's property. You can probably imagine where I'm going with this. But the MCU version of Secret Wars actually seems to be a little bit different than the original comics. A new fan poster for the upcoming movie features Doctor Doom as the main antagonist, and many people think that he will be replacing the Beyonder as the main villain of the story. And if true, this wouldn't be some last-minute replacement. There's actually setup for this as far back as 2015, when an alternate Secret Wars comic book miniseries showed him killing the Beyonder and absorbing his powers to become God Emperor Doom. The Fantastic Four will be in the upcoming Secret Wars movie, and if you've seen the Fantastic Four movies, Doctor Doom is in every single one of them. In keeping with this trend, it actually makes a lot of sense that Doctor Doom would be the main antagonist of the Secret Wars movies, as it would tie the Fantastic Four into the plot in a more interesting way than just them being in it due to their status as Marvel heroes. So, what does this have to do with Iron Man? Well, like I said, the plot of Secret Wars is essentially a battle royale between all the superheroes in the Marvel multiverse. And considering there is a version of every superhero in every universe, naturally there is going to be an Iron Man from another universe in the story. Since Marvel is adapting this comic book story, it logically follows that Robert Downey Jr. will have to return to reprise his role as Iron Man, even if it's not the same Iron Man we've been following since 2008. This alternate version of Tony Stark would allow Marvel to reprise one of the most beloved characters in the franchise, without nullifying his sacrifice at the end of Endgame. It would be a satisfying way to give fans who miss Iron Man what they've been wanting, as well as the other side of the fandom who is satisfied with Tony's sacrifice and feel that bringing him back would be disrespectful to the character. This reprisal of Tony Stark would also be the perfect way to introduce a new Iron Man to the MCU, giving us a passing of the torch moment, where RDJ's character gives the nod to a new hero, who then dons the mantle and begins making his own suits. Perhaps this new Iron Man could be Riri Williams, who in the comics is the direct successor to Iron Man. Riri Williams is a 15-year-old engineering prodigy, who attended MIT like Tony Stark himself, and actually reverse engineered one of Tony's old suits to become a superhero herself, who then dons the name Ironheart. Due to her being a female, she obviously can't take the name Iron Man, so this would definitely be a satisfying way to bring back the hero without insulting fans of the character by giving them his epithet, as they did with Falcon, where they essentially killed two characters with one change. Perhaps Ironheart could fight alongside the alternate Iron Man, proving her merits as a superhero to both him and the Earth-616 Avengers, and the Marvel fanbase as well, and receiving their nod to take over the original Tony's role as the mech-suited hero. I think if this passing of the torch is done properly, many of the fans that didn't like the recent Ironheart live action will be more inclined to give her a chance. I'm thinking that the reason people didn't like Ironheart is because they felt it was too soon after Tony Stark's death to replace him with such a different character. However, it's possible that the MCU's Ironheart was never intended to be a replacement for Iron Man, but her own hero. I say this in light of Marvel's recent confirmation in Armor Wars that James Rhodey, Warhammer, is the ideal replacement for Iron Man. Rhodey has been in the Iron Man movies since the first one in 2008, a close friend to Tony and an experienced user of his suits. Tony's best friend taking on the role of Iron Man could satisfy fans that were upset about Falcon taking over for Cap instead of Bucky, as well as the fans who were upset with the Ironheart in Black Panther and felt that she was not the right character to take on the Iron Man mantle. Rhodey was actually close friends with Tony Stark, and after a recent reveal that James Rhodey was kidnapped by the Skrulls, and the Warhammer we saw in the Infinity War story was actually a Skrull imposter, Rhodey's inevitably traumatic experience during this kidnapping mirrors Tony Stark's origin story, and sets forth Rhodey as the natural replacement for the character. Personally, I think if done properly, either of these characters would be a good replacement for Iron Man. But it goes without saying that neither character could embody the hero Iron Man as well as RDJ did. Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is one of the best portrayals of a comic book hero that I've seen since Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man back in the early 2000s. And I doubt we'll see another portrayal as accurate as this for many years to come. Seeing Tony Stark back in the MCU, even if it's just as an alternate version who is only present for the Secret Wars, or a temporary revival of the original, would be a dream come true for myself and everyone else who vowed to never watch another MCU movie again after Endgame. And the potential for this reprisal to set up a new Iron Man movie series is too exciting to me to imagine Marvel passing up the opportunity. Now, whether Tony Stark actually makes an appearance in Secret Wars or not remains to be seen. But on the off chance that he doesn't, this movie still promises to be one of the biggest superhero storylines ever put on the big screen. With virtually every Marvel superhero in the franchise making an appearance, Secret Wars is going to be an even more iconic crossover than the Spider-Man crossovers in No Way Home. We'll get to see characters interact on the big screen that have only ever met in the comics, namely the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. And it's highly possible that we'll see fights between these characters as well. Considering the battle royale nature of the plot, and the fact that multiple universes are involved and being pitted against each other, we might see comic-only battles like Wolverine vs. Hulk actually happening in live action. Of course, I'm devolving into pure baseless speculation here, but the possibilities are endless indeed. I personally can't wait to see this movie, and as we draw closer to the release date on May 7th, 2027, I'm sure there will be more for us to talk about in the near future. What do you think about the upcoming Avengers Secret Wars movie saga? Are you as excited as I am to see it, or are you one of the many former fans who swore off Marvel movies when Tony died? Please leave a comment letting me know your thoughts, and consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you want to keep up to date on upcoming movies, new anime and TV shows, and all other things media related. Thank you so much for watching, and take it easy.